Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
YouTube, salute! All right, y'all, I'm back once again. Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. Yes, the fight is taking place Saturday, November 14th. And it's going to be in the Bubble MGM Las Vegas, Nevada for the WBO World Welterweight title is on the line. And the estimated ring walk is going to start at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So you can catch this fight on Premier Sports or ESPN. Not ESPN pay-per-view, not ESPN Plus, but ESPN. 12-round contest. So if you're new to my channel, thumbs up the video, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. Also cast your vote for Kofi's Universe 2020 Lyricist of the Year. Nominate your top 10 rappers. The link is in the description. And check out new interviews with UK rapper Jaja Soze, Razkaz, Ari the Rugged Man, and Kambada. So let's start with the tail of the tape. Let's go with the challenger, Kell Brook. He's 34 years old. He stands 5'9". He has a 68.9 reach, which is about 69 inches. He fights at the orthodox stance. He has 39 wins. 27 of those wins come by KO. 2 losses. 1 loss comes from with Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, and Errol Spence, the other loss. He's been stopped twice, and no draws. And he was the former IBF welterweight champion. He took that belt from Sean Porter and lost that title in 2017 to Errol Spence. Now, we go on with the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the WBO champion, Terence Crawford, one of my favorite fighters right now. He just turned 33 years old, 5'8", 74-inch reach, fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska. His stance is orthodox and southpaw. He's ambidextrous. He has 36 wins. 27 of those wins come by KO. 0 losses, 0 stops, 0 draws. And he's ranked #2 when it comes to the Ring Magazine belt in welterweight. So let's break this fight down. So let's start with Kell Brook. What does he do good? Some of his strengths. Kell Brook, he has a great 1-2. He's very strong. I do agree that he's very strong. He's coming to fight because this is like his Super Bowl that he has he might not have another big fight ever again, because I think he knows that Father Time is, is not on his side. So he has to do something to actually put himself in a position to have a fight with Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence at welterweight. So, or Ugas, or Sean Porter, or a Keith Thurman to actually keep his name, going. So he's coming to fight. I feel like Kell Brook, he has a great 1-2, but not just a 1-2. He will stand in the middle of the ring and box it out with you. He will take chances. So he's not going to sit there and just, walk away or run from the exchanges. He's not going to do that. Now let's go to Crawford, some of his strengths. Crawford, I feel like he's the best switch hitter in the game since Marvelous Hagler. Yes. He's like the Mickey Mantle of boxing. Crawford has great footwork. His timing is impeccable. When it comes to his defense, it's underrated. He's not the best defensive fighter, but he has, solid defense. His ring IQ is probably the best in the game. His reflexes and just knowing how to actually turn the switch on. Crawford can fight in the inside, from the outside. He can, he can bang it out. He can brawl. He can box for you. He can box with you. He has so many tools in his toolbox. A multi-talented fighter like him, you don't know what you're going to expect from Crawford, but at the end of the day, you are going to get some great work from him. Okay, so now let's look at some of the weaknesses from Kell Brook. I think some of the weaknesses will be weight drain. him coming from 154 back to 147 is going to actually take a toll on his body. I really believe that, because even though there's no rehydration clause for this fight, it's still him shrinking down and losing certain nutrients just to make the weight. If that's not healthy at all. I feel that his orbital bone on both sides of his face, that would actually kind of hurt him in the long run. I believe that also. So he needs to be very careful with that too, as far as his face. And I think him knowing that if the fire presents itself of Crawford trying to hurt him, especially in the face, his fear of not making sure his face is going to be fractured again. Crawford, some of his weaknesses, Crawford gets complacent as far as like, he'll start doing weird stuff of fighting, just fighting wild. Like he'll fight, if somebody's slugging with him, he's going to slug with them. Sometimes he won't fight his fight and be strategic, which I hate about that, which I love him, but I don't like when he does that. It's like, yo, stick to the game plan. Like when he fought against Kavalauskas in December 2019, Crawford brawled with him. Even though he won, he didn't fight his fight. So Crawford needs to be very patient and take his time. He needs to fight from the orthodox stance first. Once he gets comfortable and starts to pick apart Brook, then switch to southpaw. Don't start off in southpaw like he did with Kavalauskas just to prove a point. It's not about proving a point. It's about winning the fight. And I feel like this weakness, if Crawford doesn't put on a great fight, it's going to hurt him in the long run of the things he needs to do. So he needs to be very careful for that, of what he's going to try to do. Now, the keys to victory. Kell Brook, he needs to actually tally up rounds from the beginning. And he needs to also do not get comfortable with Crawford. He needs to keep Crawford on his toes at all times, because Crawford can actually adapt. He's great at adapting, so he needs to be aware of that. He needs to keep that jab with Crawford in his face if he wants any success, because if that jab starts to get lazy, Crawford's going to start walking him down. And he does not need to underestimate Crawford. Crawford, what he needs to do to Kell Brook, he needs to be Terence Crawford. He needs to show the world why he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, why people do not want to fight him on the PBC side and other things. He needs to show and prove to a point that after this fight, he wants to have a fight with Manny Pacquiao. He wants to have a fight with Errol Spence. I believe Crawford just needs to be Crawford. I think Crawford needs to actually go out there, execute the game plan, and he needs to work the body. I think Kell Brook thinking he might be coming to his face so much. Crawford needs to work Kell Brook's body, break his body down, make him feel like, oh my God, drop his hands. And after that, then Crawford needs to go to the head and mix it up more. Work that body a lot. How do I see this fight going? I see Crawford stopping Kell Brook in the 8th round by KO. And I believe it will come by body shots. Kell Brook will finally feel the heat of how strong Terence Crawford is. I think he will understand, like, damn, I'm underestimating this guy. You know, I think he thinks that Crawford just some little dude. Crawford is strong as hell. And I believe he's one of the strongest welterweights out there. People just look at him from coming from 135 to 140 to 147 that he's not that strong. Crawford used to wrestle, so he's strong as hell. The fight will end, my prediction, 8th round KO. Crawford will retain his WBO welterweight title, and maybe he might be joining the PBC in 2021 and maybe trying to get a tune-up, maybe a Ugas, maybe a Keith Thurman, then maybe going after Pacquiao, Errol Spence. We'll see. If not, we'll see. Let me know your prediction. Who you think is going to win this fight? Saturday, November 14th on ESPN, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's the ring walk. Post your comments below. Hulk smash Black Panther the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content and go live. If you want to support and donate to the channel, I have Patreon, patreon.com/KofiUniverse. Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Streamlabs, everything's in the description. Till next time, salute.